What if the wealth, clarity, and wisdom you've been searching for were never outside of you at all? What if they were already alive within your body, waiting to be remembered, to be activated? Today, I want to introduce you to the crystalline grid, a luminous current that runs through 3 power points in your body: the sacrum, the thymus, the pituitary. And when this current is dormant, you can have all the strategy in the world, the funnels, the plans, the to-do lists, the reels, but it won't hold. You'll find yourself doing more and more, yet still feeling blocked, unclear, and disconnected. But when this current awakens, everything changes. Your body becomes aligned, and the wealth you've been wanting begins to flow towards you. Not because you're hustling or grinding for it, but because you've become a vibrational match for it. The crystalline grid is not something you learn, it's something you connect with. It's within you. And once you do, you will never see yourself, your work, or your legacy in the same way. So stay with me, because by the end of today's episode, you'll feel this current stirring alive within you. Welcome back to Purpose Driven Millionaire. I'm Connie Grant, and this is the space where we explore the intersection of wealth, sovereignty, and legacy. And today, we're diving into the crystalline grid. And I want to start with this. Most of us have been trained to believe that wealth is something we earn by doing more. We're told that if we just learn the right funnel, post at the right time, buy the right program, and hustle just enough, then maybe we'll finally feel successful, secure, and free. But here's what most of us eventually discover. Strategy without aligned energy doesn't go very far. Strategy without frequency collapses. And you can do everything right on the outside, but if the inner current, the crystalline grid, isn't activated with your resonance, you'll always feel like you're chasing that next client, chasing that next payday, chasing a version of success that never really satisfies. Yes, the money might come. The opportunities might show up as well. You'll look successful from the outside, but inside, you're going to feel like there's still something missing. And the flow, it's just not quite there. And the consistency, it isn't there either. And the sense of being deeply aligned and deeply fulfilled aren't felt. So I know this because I've lived it. I've done the courses, the strategies, the action plans. And yes, some of them have worked, and they've helped me build what looked like an incredibly successful business. But none of it felt like the true me. None of it felt sustainable. And I was building on top of this shaky foundation, and it just left me constantly searching, constantly hustling, and constantly hoping that the next thing would be it. So today, I want to take you on a journey. We'll explore what the crystalline grid is, why it matters, and I'll guide you through a short activation so you can feel it alive within your own body. So the crystalline grid, it is a vertical current of energy that runs through 3 points on your body: the sacrum, the thymus, and the pituitary. Now think of this as a luminous line, a starlit river connecting your foundation, your heart, and your vision. And at the base of the spine lies the sacrum. And this is the ember, the warrior plate, the foundation which your sense of worthiness rests upon. And here's where you carry the oldest stories passed down through family lines, through culture, through society itself. Stories that say, I'm not enough. I have to sacrifice in order to be successful. And money, it always comes with a cost. And if I have money, I will lose love. These stories, they're all illusion lies, but they're stored deep in the sacrum, etched into the body, imprinted into the cells. And when the sacrum is blocked, you feel heavy and weighed down, and you question yourself endlessly. You brace for disappointment even before it arrives. And when you focus on this, guess what? You attract a little bit more of that. But when the ember inside the sacrum is awakened, these stories, they dissolve into light. That rigid armor, it just becomes malleable. The old programming burns away, and in its place, a golden river begins to flow upward through your spine. And as this golden current rises, it doesn't stop. It continues its ascent, moving with luminous strength until it meets the midpoint on the grid, the thymus. Now, the next point, this thymus, also known as your higher heart, it sits at the top of your sternum, just below your collarbone. Energetically, it glows as radiant aquamarine light. And this is the place where joy is born. It is where gratitude expands. It is where abundance finds its home. And when the thymus is closed, the connection to joy, it feels distant. You work hard, but the work just doesn't feel fulfilling. And you speak the right words, but they land without resonance, as though your voice is hollow or unheard. But when the thymus is open, everything shifts. Presence becomes creation. Gratitude multiplies with ease, and wealth begins to flow naturally without having to try hard. And this is also the place where the old hustle paradigm lives. The belief that says, work harder, do more, push endlessly, grind, or you just don't deserve this success. And yet, when you breathe into the thymus, you discover your truth. Presence itself is the highest form of productivity. And frequency, it is the real strategy. And as the aquamarine light expands through your chest, the current continues to rise. It travels upward into the inner sanctum of your brain, arriving at the third and final destination on the crystalline grid, the pituitary. The final point on the crystalline grid is the pituitary gland. It rests deeply within your brain, just behind the bridge of your nose, and it is often linked with your third eye. Energetically, this is the golden lamp. The pituitary is the seat of intuition. It is the place of your sovereign knowing, and it is the chamber of vision, not surface level vision, but the kind of clear sight that comes from deep alignment with your truth. And when the pituitary is dormant, you find yourself endlessly searching for answers outside of yourself. You wait for signs, for proof, for permission. And even though the answer presents itself to you, you second guess it. You doubt yourself and you dim the very wisdom that already exists within you. So deep down, you already know the truth. But when the pituitary awakens, everything begins to change. You remember that wisdom has always been within you. You no longer need proof before you trust yourself. And your vision, it sharpens. And your decisions, they become clear. And you know when it is time to act, when it is time to rest, and when it is time to create. Because your inner compass is steady and sovereign. And when your pituitary is alive, your path is illuminated, showing you the way. 3 points, one luminous current. The sacrum, the thymus, the pituitary. Together, they form the crystalline grid. So why does any of this matter? Why talk about the crystalline grid at all? Because most people are living and creating with their grid asleep. Most entrepreneurs, they live disconnected from this current. And they build their lives and businesses on strategy first. Post this, launch that, and just hustle more. And they do all the right things. And yet, even when success comes, it just doesn't feel whole. It just doesn't feel sustainable. But without the crystalline grid, strategy collapses. You can pour in the effort, the money, the hours, but it will always feel like it's never enough. And just think about this. When the sacrum is blocked, you walk through life carrying this unworthiness. You doubt your value. You brace for rejection before you even begin. Every move feels heavy, as if you have to prove yourself just to exist. And when the thymus is blocked, you can work tirelessly and still feel empty. You create, but it doesn't feel like joy. And you speak, but the words, they just don't land. And gratitude, it just feels far away, and wealth feels like something you just have to fight for, and instead of something that flows naturally to you. And when the pituitary is blocked, your clarity vanishes. You search outside for answers, you second guess every step, and you find yourself paralyzed with indecision. You wait for permission instead of trusting your own knowing. And this is what it feels like to live disconnected from the grid. Strategy becomes fragmented, work becomes effort, and wealth becomes a chase that never ends. But when that crystalline grid, your crystalline grid is awakened, everything changes. When the sacrum is alive, you no longer move from lack. You move from worthiness, from a foundation that cannot be shaken. And you stop asking, am I enough? And you begin knowing, I am. And with the thymus alive, your presence itself becomes magnetic. Gratitude multiplies, joy fuels creation, and wealth begins to flow because you are embodying abundance, not forcing it. And with the pituitary alive, your path is illuminated. You trust your vision, your timing, your intuition. You stop needing validation because clarity is already within you. Strategy is not wrong. It has its place. But without the right frequency, your frequency, it collapses. And when the crystalline grid is awakened, strategy becomes sacred. It comes from presence, alignment, and knowing. And here's an example. Imagine launching a new program. If your sacrum is blocked, you'll fear that no one's going to sign up. If your thymus is blocked, you'll force that messaging and it just won't resonate. And if your pituitary is blocked, you'll second guess every decision, doubting yourself at every turn. But if your crystalline grid is alive, you launch from worthiness, already knowing the value of what you bring. And you speak with resonance, and your words, they carry the frequency of your truth. And you act with clarity, making decisions quickly and confidently because you trust your inner wisdom. And what happens? The people who are meant for you, they will feel it. They recognize your frequency. They respond. And that is why the crystalline grid matters. It's not just about feeling more spiritual or more centered. It's about creating a life and business that are grounded in worthiness. Without it, strategy is empty. And with it, strategy feels sacred. So if you can, close your eyes. But if you're driving or walking, just simply listen to this and just allow the words to move through you. And I want you to take a deep, slow breath in through your nose and exhale gently through your mouth. One more time. Inhale fully, filling your lungs, and then release. Just let those shoulders drop. Feel yourself arriving here, present, grounded, ready. Bring your attention to the base of your spine, your sacrum. Imagine a glowing ember there, steady, warm, alive. And this is the place where old stories have lived. Stories of not enoughness, stories of sacrifice, stories that said you must lose love in order to have wealth. See those stories now as thin smoke rising from the ember, dissolving as they leave your body. With every breath, they burn away. And as they dissolve, the ember brightens. It expands into a golden river that begins to flow upward through your spine. Now bring your awareness to your thymus, your higher heart, near your collarbone. Imagine it glowing with aquamarine light. And as you breathe here, feel the gratitude opening, feel joy stirring, and feel abundance expanding. Let this aquamarine light grow brighter, filling your chest and radiating outward into the space around you. This is your true productivity, presence, frequency, resonance. wealth flowing from joy and creation. Now let this current rise once more, flowing up into the pituitary gland behind the bridge of your nose. And see a golden lamp here. See it glowing with golden white light, steady, clear, radiant. And this is the place of your intuition, your sovereign knowing. And let your clarity sharpen. Let your vision awaken. And just notice how you feel right now. You may feel lighter, taller, and clearer. And you might sense an inner calm or a spark of energy or simply a quiet awareness that something within you has shifted. The crystalline grid isn't just an idea to think about once and then forget. It is a current to return to again and again until it becomes second nature, until it becomes the way you move, speak, and create every day. And this week, carry the awareness of the grid with you. When you speak, let your words rise from your thymus. And before a meeting, before a conversation, even before sending a message, take a moment to place a hand on your chest. Breathe and let the words carry gratitude. Notice how the tone shifts, how resonance grows, how others feel the difference. And when you act, allow your pituitary to guide you. Instead of rushing or forcing, just pause for a moment. Ask, is this action aligned? Does it flow from clarity? And you may notice that decisions come more easily, that you trust yourself more, and that you no longer feel that need for outside validation. And when you rest, let your sacrum hold you in worthiness. Instead of collapsing into guilt for doing less, remember that rest is not a weakness. It is the grounding of your foundation. And each morning, take a moment to activate the grid within you. Place your hand on your thymus, close your eyes, and speak these words out loud. I remember. I am aligned. I am wealthy. I am sovereign. I am legacy. Just let these words settle into your body as if they are etched into your bones and coded into your very cells. And let them become the frequency that you carry into your day. The crystalline grid is a practice of embodiment. It is the power current that, when awakened, turns every action into strategy, every word into resonance, and every step into legacy. So the crystalline grid is not outside of you. It's been here all along, waiting, quiet and steady, like a luminous current beneath the surface of your being. 3 points, 1 line. The ember of your sacrum, glowing with worthiness. The aquamarine heart, radiating joy and gratitude. And the golden lamp of the pituitary, illuminating vision and truth. So together, they awaken the remembrance of who you really are. And you have never been separate from it. Even in moments of doubt or when you felt empty or unclear, the grid has been alive within you. Dormant perhaps, but never gone. Now it is awake. And when you walk from this place, you walk differently. You stand taller, you speak with resonance, and you move with clarity. Wealth becomes a frequency you carry, a natural outcome of your alignment. And legacy is written in every step that you take, every word you share, and every presence you hold. So as you leave this space today, let the crystalline grid guide you. When challenges arise, return to the ember in your sacrum. When opportunities appear, speak from the aquamarine of your heart. And when decisions call for clarity, trust the golden lamp of your vision. And above all, remember, the grid is not something you do, it is something you embody. So let us close with these words, words that awaken, words that align, words that seal this current into every cell of your being. I remember. I am aligned. I am wealthy. I am sovereign. I am legacy. Repeat them once more, letting them echo into your body, into your field, and into your life. I remember. I am aligned. I am wealthy. I am sovereign. I am legacy. It is remembered. It is embodied. It is done. Thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you